Hello, my wonderful writers. Wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about our comic project, taking our personal narratives and turning them into comics. Um, I'm excited to see what you guys have been working on. I want to talk about the process of how this is going to work and get you guys going on some of the next steps. Okay. So, if you take a look at the screen here, this is what we have been focusing on, taking our personal narrative and turning it into a comic. Okay. We've made decisions about our plot and our characters and our setting and our problem and solution. We've planned that out. In your notebook, you guys have made a web plan of what you want that to roughly look like. From there, we're going to talk about storyboarding it. And storyboarding it is basically a strategy that comic and cartoonists use to create quick thumbnail sketches. From there, we're going to sketch and ink and color, and I'll get into that in just a bit. But let's talk about storyboarding and using thumbnails. I have a couple of examples here of past thumbnails that students have created. So again, it's using this concept of just creating small little frames quickly and having a quick sketch of the character, the dialogue that's going to be happening in each box, if there is some, and how the comic progresses from beginning to end. So this is a really, really rough draft of what the comic is going to look like. I think I have one more example. Again, another example of a student thumbnail storyboard. Okay, so hopefully yours looks very similar to this, or you're along the same lines. Okay, so that's storyboarding and thumbnails. Now I want to talk a little bit about talking about our thumbnails. Now I want to talk a little bit about what the next steps are. So after we have our thumbnails created, there is a three-step process, kind of like a writing process, but this is the comic process. We're going to draw and ink and color. Okay, and it's kind of like the writing process of planning, drafting, editing, revising, and publishing, except comic creators talk about it in the forms of drawing, inking, and coloring. Okay, so when we look at these three phases, the drawing is done in pencil. It's kind of like that rough draft. The inking then focuses on lines and shadows and patterns and texture. And then coloring is where we add color on top of the black that we've added in the inking stage, and we make it pop and come to its published version of coloring. Okay, here's a description of what that looks like. I'm on slide 26 in our Google presentation right now. Again, drawing, inking, and then coloring. And you can read a little bit more about what those stages are all about and involved in that. Okay, let me focus on, and I want to show you guys another example now of a student from 2 years ago. They wrote their personal narrative right here. This is the drawing stage. So they did their initial drawing of their comic. And then we have the inking stage right here, where they made some decisions about shading, about texture, about thickness of lines. And then they went to the coloring stage. So essentially, this is what you're going to be doing with your comic. You're going from drawing to inking to coloring, and this will be our final project. As you think about this, and you work through this, please feel free to take a look at this slide 27. Dave McDonald is a professional comic creator, and he has some videos to help you make decisions about what your characters might look like, about what your font might look like, so on and so forth. So these are really good examples, really good videos to give you some examples to help you with the creation of your comic as well. So again, just to review here, guys, here's going to be our step in our process. We are storyboarding, then we're going to drawing and sketching, inking, and coloring. Now this is going to be a multiple day project, and hopefully this video helps you keep organized of our process of creating our comics. If you have any questions, please let me know. But this is the process in which we're going to be creating our comics. Hope you're having fun with this project, guys. Can't wait to see what you're coming up with.